The year 2021 has been such a grim year indeed. Its devastation has been compared to no other.
Businesses and key sectors in economies have bowed their heads and downed tools, yet we decided to forge on.
In the face of adversity, we used entrepreneurial leadership to create positive impact in the lives of thousands.
We embarked on a journey that took 30 committed members, investing 16,800 hours of work, positively and directly impacting 2,500 people with an indirect impact of over 10,000 people. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Elishama
Wetembegile,
Tapiwa,
Webster, and together we are
Enactus University of Zimbabwe. With the raging virus on the loose that made any form of mass gathering a fatal health hazard, physically entering class became a stark impossibility. Of the 184,000 students who sat for their O-level exams in 2020, only a meager 45,000 passed, translating to an embarrassing 24%. Education has reconfigured from face-to-face learning to online methods as a safety precaution, thereby essentially making learning an exclusive reserve for the affluent. The move to online learning has left behind the less privileged, such as costly data and Wi-Fi.
The United Nations International Children's Education Fund found that a combined 4.6 million Zimbabwean children have lost tuition time. With an unstable emergency education response characterized by trial and error template methods, the PTUZ predicts that 2021 is likely to have one of the worst pass rates in history as the learning situation further deteriorates with the spread of the virus.
On the tertiary side, the removal of education subsidies made the cost of education very high and unattainable for most university students. While on the high school side, the national pass rate, which has been consistently low at the hands of frequent teacher industrial action, the high student-teacher ratio, lack of educational materials, and challenges with infrastructure resulting in poor education. Feeling a wave of apprehension, we descended into the arena of the problem to conduct a thorough needs analysis through administering questionnaires and focus group interviews. Our findings estimated that over 15,000 students in Harare alone were registered to write the November 2021 examinations, but had received far less than 12 weeks of tuition times. This was far from ideal. We visited Hatcliffe, a community of historical interest to our team, and it was in Hatcliffe where we came across two young individuals of divergent academic journeys whose realities converged at the devastation of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Meet Kudakwashe, an O-level student from Kaponda Secondary School in Hatcliffe, who due to the intricacies of online learning had been rendered a de facto dropout. Kudakwashe, like 10,000 of his peers across Zimbabwe, had never attended a single online lesson since the suspension of physical lessons. Kudakwashe can barely afford the technology and data needed to religiously attend online school. His school is one of the 3,200 public schools across the country which cannot conduct online lessons due to infrastructural challenges.
Kudakwashe, a candidate for the November 2021 ZIMSEC exams, had lost all hope for his education. He was adamant that he cannot write as he is too behind to catch up with his financially better placed peers. "Ha boys, ndasara, in time yacho ndopasisina," grumbled Kuda as he looked away onto his basic smartphone to continue his Candy Crush challenge. It was this smartphone that would become his lifeline and change his fortunes. In our systematic review, we discovered that at least 63% of the youth in Zimbabwe own a smartphone, and a further 4% have reliable access to a shared phone. 98% of these had access to WhatsApp. This was the shade of hope we were looking for. But before we tell you how we turned a smartphone into a classroom, let us meet Caroline.
Caroline is an undergraduate engineering student at the University of Zimbabwe, living a couple of houses away from Kuda. She is ever anxious over the possibility of finishing her degree in these hard times. Without family or institutional support, the economic struggles have hit her hard. Every 6 months, she scrambles for accommodation, transport, stationery, food, toiletries, and sundry expenses. Her peers have turned to trading their bodies for basic comfort, and she says the urge to do the same is not lost to her. Such is the reality of 3,470 other university students whose stories on STI incidents, criminal activity, and desperate living measures make headlines in local tabloids time and again.
As Enactus University of Zimbabwe, we used entrepreneurial leadership to identify a need and capitalized on existing opportunities through taking personal responsibility, managing both risk and change within our dynamic environment.
Ladies and gentlemen, we introduce to you Project Funda Smart, a cloud-based IT solution and integrated education system designed to improve access to quality education through offering an affordable, accessible, far-reaching, and bespoke e-learning solution that bridges the education rift while providing a steady source of income and creating use for an otherwise untapped pool of human resource.
Our system brings together two groups of individuals that can mutually benefit from each other. That is, high school learners in desperate need of education instruction on one hand, and idle university students with the knowledge on the other. With widespread technological devices among the youth, we saw an opportunity to merge and create a hybrid schooling system that makes education affordable, accessible, and sustainable.
However, in order for you to fully understand the depth of our project, let us take you through the developmental journey of Funda Smart. Funda Smart is a cloud-based IT product that primarily exists as a website and application with a database of tutors in which high school student users and their parents can shop for tutoring services online.
Each applicant is then issued the Funda Smart package, which consists of a teaching and tutorial template, the syllabi for each of the tutors' chosen subjects, as well as the Fundisa Code of Conduct. At the administrative end of the system is the Enactus team, which vets every submission by prospective tutors. Each application is dealt with in under 24 hours, and once successful, the tutor's profile is registered.
Upon registration, tutors are interviewed and successful candidates undergo a short tutorship course with the UZ's Department of Education, after which their profile goes live on the website and students and parents can now access and shop for the tutor's services, after which we match interested students and their chosen tutors for control. Funda Smart also has various other functions that include mass tutorship lessons for just $1 per week, tutor proficiency recommendation, rating and review, as well as misconduct reporting options.
More so, Funda Smart offers the opportunity to conduct physical lessons. To facilitate this, tutors can enter the vaccination status as well as last COVID-19 test date and results on the website. This allows the parent and the student to know whether the tutor is vaccinated or not. Additionally, Funda Smart uses Maps.me geolocation services to connect students and tutors living in close proximity. To widen our reach, we also introduced a more affordable version on WhatsApp, which sought to penetrate the reach of the application as well as exploit its generally low data packages. This allowed us to register 200 more students through the Funda Smart WhatsApp chatbot, which offers videos, audio, and SMS-based learning, as well as the question and answer tutoring technique.
For audit purposes, we contracted experienced teachers to help us monitor and evaluate the lessons as well as offer support to our tutors. We also added stakeholder listening option where parents can log on to student lessons.
Our role as a team is to keep tabs on the registrants and the flow of lectures, ensuring that there is no abuse of the system and resolving any conflicts and complaints arising on the platform.
How much for all of this, one would ask? $chete. In order to ensure sustainability of the model, as well as provide steady income for our struggling tutors, we developed the $chete subscription model. Under this model, each student would pay just $1 a week to access private tutoring on Funda Smart on a subject of their choice.
choice.
For every dollar paid, 80 cents would go to the tutor, 15 cents to the operational cost of Fundasmart, while 5 cents would be retained by the team as profit. To put this into perspective, with 100 students against 5 tutors, each tutor would get $16 per week, while learners enjoy a healthy student-teacher ratio of 20:1. The rest of the $20 would be divided between the operations and costs, respectively, as $15 and $5. This meant per month, each one of our hundreds of tutors pocketed at least $64.
Furthermore, after realizing Caroline's plight, we took it upon ourselves to create an avenue for her economic sustainability by giving her a means to grow her own income from her tutorship through running a small business. We introduced Caroline to Hustlemart, a UZ Enactus business training model which equips students on how to create, sustain, and scale their businesses.
We partnered the Zimbabwe Youth Council, Panari, and Elevate Trust in the compilation, distribution, and delivery of our training material both online and physically. This allowed us to reach and train 1,250 young entrepreneurs. This year, as Enactus University of Zimbabwe, we exceeded our own expectations. Through Fundasmart, we were able to transform the education sector by introducing a web-based innovation that facilitated tutor-student collaboration.
In so doing, 50 university students became Fundasmart certified tutors. Our tutors make a minimum of $16 a week. While making $16 a week may seem trivial, it means the world to our tutors as their food, accommodation, sundry expenses are taken care of.
In the 32 weeks of operation, the average professional income of our 50 tutors increased from $0 to $120 monthly and decreased the cost of online learning per student from an average of $30 per week to just $6, and so educated over 1,000 students.
In its first year, and through our 5 partnerships and the support of all our stakeholders, Fundasmart has generated just over $20,000 in total